Have you ever experienced something or had like a feeling that you can't explain? Or maybe you've had something happen to you before that you've been like, this feels like a sign, but you can't explain it.
Just give me a sign.
This kind of stuff happens to me all the time, and I want to know why. Am I psychic?
I have a fifth sense. What do you mean?
Okay, pause. What exactly do I mean by psychic? Maybe you've had a few mysterious experiences of your own. Like maybe you've gotten a feeling that someone was about to call you, then 3 seconds later your phone rings and it's them. Or maybe someone popped into your mind who you haven't seen in a while, and the next day you happen to bump into them in a sea of thousands of people. It's almost like life itself is working with some weird, complex algorithm of its own. These moments seem to defy all logic and odds. So, is it really just coincidence? Or is there a chance that there's something else in the works that we just can't see? I get it. It's not everyone's cup of tea. But if there's so many people that experience their own level of intuition, the idea of knowing something without any reasoning,
Interesting.
then it's gotta be worth investigating. But first, my boss was pretty set on me showing multiple perspectives on the topic, so I sat down with my partner Chris, who has his own strong feelings about
It was
it.
weird, but weird things happen in life. That doesn't mean there's a metaphysical, psychic, ultimate power that's causing them to happen.
But that doesn't mean there's not. I thought you would fight me more on this, to be honest.
I'm trying to be polite for your YouTube video. I think it's bullshit. I think it's complete nonsense that anyone would think that.
You don't think I'm a bit psychic?
Not even close.
Not even the slightest
Like, not even like.
What Chris is trying to say is that I just need to do some tests to be sure.
So I asked Matt to help me take the Zener card test. Zener cards were designed in the 1930s by perceptual psychologist Carl Zener for his colleague J.B. Rhine. Rhine used these cards for experiments in ESP and clairvoyance.
Okay, circle, square, wavy lines, plus.
There are 25 cards with 5 different symbols, and I had to guess the symbol on each card.
I'm nervous.
Do you have your crystal handy?
Star. Oh, I don't get to know in the moment if I get it right?
Oh.
Square. Squiggly line. Plus. Have I gotten any right? I need to know halfway. Not a single one. Okay, I'm gonna get my head in the game now. Star. Circle. I hate this.
Plus,
I quit. Squiggle. Squiggle. Was it a plus? Sorry.
A couple times, you have guessed the next card.
Circle. Oh. It's either a star or a squiggle. Star.
most people will
Squiggle.
get between 3 and 7 correct.
So these are your results.
I got 7 right. That doesn't feel that bad for like having no idea what's happening in front of you.
For my next test, I wanted to try out something called psychometry. It's the idea that you can sense an object's history simply through touch. So I had Monica bring in an object I'd never seen before and knew nothing about.
These things to
Yeah,
send
send them over to me.
Okay.
After holding the painting for a few minutes, I wrote down all the words that were popping into my head.
Okay. The first thing I thought was fluffy. I wrote grandma's. Potentially your grandma's dog. Feeling like raspberries. And then I wrote Slurpees. I can't read you. Does any of that resonate?
I'm pretty sure you got like everything I was sending to you, except for like the name. Let me see
It's
the
your
list.
grandma's dog?
It's my grandma's dog. I sent you all of that stuff you were saying, and you also did something else. You unlocked a memory that I forgot from the day I painted this that I wasn't sending to you. It was the Slurpee. It
Oh my god!
It was the Slurpee.
That is literally insane.
Fluffy.
It's
Fluffy.
the first word.
No, I was sending all of this to you, Laura, in my head.
It's
That was one of the
fluffy.
first things I was telling you in my. Also, in my backyard, the only fruit plant we had were raspberries, where I painted this. But also, maybe
I saw that.
we would go biking to get Slurpees at the gas station.
Like, that's... This is freaking me out a bit.
Most of the words I wrote down, Monica said she was sending me in her head. So, was that my intuition at work? Aside from these tests, I've had a few unexplainable moments of intuition myself. It was about 6 years ago. I was sitting in my room, minding my own business, while all of a sudden, a photo of my mom flew off the wall beside me and slowly drifted onto my bed. It was really weird. The photo had sat in the vinyl tree ornament that my sister had made me. In the photo, my mom was wearing a hat that said The Reunion. My grandpa had passed a few months before this, and I just got this intuition that it was him. Cut to 6 months later. We're at my grandpa's house packing everything up. I snuck away for a moment to the sunroom. This was a room that my grandpa built himself, and it was where we would always gather as a family. I sat in his chair and looked up. On the wall was a brass tree that had always been there my whole life, and hanging on the tree was the hat my mom was wearing in the photo. When I saw it, it all came together. I got full body chills, and I just felt this warmth and love that I can't really describe. I just knew it was my grandpa saying hi. It was kind of like our reunion. I had a lot of questions about this experience, so I decided to meet up with psychic medium Ursula Darby. She believes that everyone has psychic abilities, and that your intuition is connected to your 5 senses.
You don't need to believe in any of this. These are your natural skills. What happens is people ignore them, or they don't know how to interpret them or use them. You have to learn discernment. Discernment means that you can identify for yourself within your body how you're feeling. When you use your intuition, you're being informed every single day to navigate your life. That includes the people in spirit, because they can also give information to you. When there's repetition presented to you, that's confirming something for you. 6 months after his passing, the picture with the hat that you talked about falling on the floor, right? You're like, I know it's him, because you just know. And when you sat in the room to connect to him and you saw the connection of the hat, because that's repetition, and people in spirit will do that to get your attention, you did it. And you had this overwhelming feeling of comfort because that's what he showed you. So oftentimes they'll impress upon you how they feel, what they want to show you.
It was helpful to talk to Ursula, and she made me feel like it really is possible to tap into your intuition. But, I mean, what is intuition anyway? The US Office of Naval Research calls it your spidey sense, and they've been researching it for years. But they're not the only ones who are curious about it. Take Dr. Helane Wabé, for instance, who wrote a book called The Science of Channeling. Dr. Helane is the director of research at the Institute of Noetic Sciences. She believes that we all have the capacity at some level to reveal information and energy not limited by conventional notions of time and space.
In your book, you talked about this idea that through your research, you're learning that these channeling experiences are actually a lot more common than we would think. Why do you think that is?
So these are experiences that so many people on our planet have, from many different countries, many different cultures, traditions, have these kind of intuitive, what you're calling psychic experiences. And that could be something really simple, like, you know, just getting a feeling in your body that you shouldn't do something. Currently, the main scientific understanding is called materialism. And that means that the only thing that exists is what we can touch, what's physical. So what's exciting about that is that's kind of being busted open. And there's a lot of scientists now who are proposing a different model, a post-materialist model that leaves space for these things that we can't touch, but that are just as real.
The experiences I've had have been, I struggle to describe them. Like, when it has happened, I've been like very 100% confident that it's been like my grandpa. What do I do with this? Like, am I, do you think I'm psychic? Do you think that's what I'm describing is, you know, something you've heard from a lot of people before? Like, what's your take on it?
I absolutely would call those channeling experiences, and I would ask, you know, if you felt in the moment that they were positive, that they were enriching in some way.
It's something that I can't quite explain, but I've never been so sure. That's why I'm so curious about it.
You know, it can sometimes feel overwhelming when you feel all this information and energy around you, and where is this coming from? And there are tools to support you to help choose when you want to go there and when you don't.
In Dr. Halane's book, she references Einstein's theory of entanglement. Now, I'm not trying to pretend I understand quantum physics, but from a very basic level, quantum entanglement is this confusing phenomenon in which photons that become entangled stay connected even when they're separated at vast distances, like across the entire universe. Like, if you make a change to one photon here, that will immediately cause a change to the entangled photon on the other side of the universe. So how are these particles able to share information faster than the speed of light? We don't really know. In fact, it confused Einstein so much that he called it spooky action theory. So what does this mean for our universe and the way that we function in it? Are we all more connected than we think, right down to our particles? All I'm trying to say is that we have a lot we still need to discover, so I'm not writing anything off just yet. Instead, I think I'm gonna go with my gut and keep asking questions. So let me know what you think in the comments. Am I psychic?